The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the host of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Cedar Fair Entertainment Company, the amusement industry, and the business of fun. Here are your hosts, Karsten Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Hu.
Hey, yeah, and we're definitely back. Unfortunately, Kyle is not with us. This is the Rundown on Fun podcast where we cover all of our Cedar Point news and also Six Flags news. I'm not the greatest at trying to transition like how he does. He just does it really so well with like the flow and stuff.
Hey, I did go in my one time.
Yeah, no, you do, and I just come up with random words.
Next time it's you and I'm starting.
Okay. All right. Hey, yeah, that'd be interesting. Fair. Anyway, we don't have a crazy amount of news this week, other than Kyle's not with us because one, he's getting ready. There's a crazy hurricane, and everyone that's going to listen to this on Saturday, it's already going to be passed. But prayers for everybody to stay safe, and I hope everything is okay for everyone that's listening, because we do have actually some listeners down there. So prayers from us and everything, and hopefully everything is going to go swell. It looks like currently recording on a Wednesday night. It looks like currently right now it's going to be Cat 4, which is insane.
Yeah, and it's going to make landfall in the Panhandle?
Something like that. It's looking like that. It's just, oh my goodness. So but yeah, so Kyle's getting ready for that, and also I think he's got some family that came and visited too. So
his parents chose a really good time to come down and visit with the major hurricane barreling down on.
Right. Yeah. So, but anyway, let's just kick off this. It's probably going to be a shorter episode because we're just going to talk about the Creators Day that we were able to attend from the park, and we'll talk a little bit about what we got to see and taste, yeah, and smell and interact with. Ooh. Yeah. But anyway, Evan, you want to give us a little bit of an update with the Siren's Curse, if there is an update?
There is, I promise. It's funny because we joked how the last year and a half we let off the show with, all right, Top Thrill 2, what's going on with it? Okay, they put the spike up. Oh, okay, now it's closed. Well, guys, get ready for the next year of Siren's Curse updates, kicking off every show.
By Evan.
Yes. Well, no, the only reason I actually even have an update, otherwise I would just say I didn't see anything, is because going to Creators Day, our little banquet dinner reception thingy was back at Fear Gone Freak Show, which is back by Maverick, and I was running very late. So I decided to go park in CP Shore's lot to make it there on time. So I got to drive literally through the Siren's Curse construction site because that's where the road of Perimeter Road goes through as it is now. Probably my last time driving on it as it is now. So of course, there wasn't anybody behind me. So I kind of took it slow and saw what I could see. And yeah, there's not much. Where the Cedars dorms were is still just dirt, but it does look like they've actually looked at the area. They're not that. It's not that far behind or anything, because there's a lot of paint on the ground, signaling, okay, here's where there's electrical lines, here's where there's water lines, and yada yada yada. So it's, I guess, the preparation to begin is there. It's just now we got to start digging so we could start putting footers, and then we go from there. And I've watched the webcams here and there this week, just kind of peeked in, and I see trucks driving over there and people walking around. So I would expect groundbreaking to start here pretty soon. And that's the update.
That's exciting because, I saw a bunch of markings and things like that, on the midway, and we were looking at the old scars from Wildcat, where Wildcat used to be and stuff and everything. And obviously that's going to be all gone. And, it's going to be that area.
I just
looking at it and stuff.
It's going to be.
It has needed something, a flat ride, whatever. So I'm so excited for that to have something in that area, and it's big too, and it's cool that they're moving the road. So I don't know if that'll take up that whole entire area. Maybe it won't. Maybe they can sneak in a flat ride over there. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you too. It's cool that, if anyone wants to take a peek at what we're talking about, if you go to Cedar Point's website, and you can see their webcam is currently looking at the actual construction site area per se.
That'll be really cool to watch all winter.
So. Yeah.
It's really close to it.
I was also thinking, like, how we do like Cedar Fair Santa and Cedar Fair Grinch kind of thing. I'm like, there was nobody.
Nobody said tilt coaster.
We never said a tilt coaster, and I don't even think anybody said that we were going to get a coaster like last year.
I don't think so. I was looking back because I write them all down. Just I don't know, probably to refer back to when we do them the next year. And I noticed in going into 2023, like the first time we did Cedar Fair Santa, Kyle said Canada's Wonderland was going to get a crazy record-breaking roller coaster. And he might have even said launching roller coaster. And I'm like, well, that's what we got. Alpen Fury. So
right.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But no, nobody said tilt coaster. Nobody said roller coaster. I think I said a flat ride over by Grand Pavilion.
Right. Yeah. I think I probably said a flume just because, we always want a flume. So
hey, I'll take your tilt coaster. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, please. Thank you.
God, it looks so good.
Granted, I don't know when we're going to get a new coaster after this. It's like, I was thinking, I'm like, does this mean we're not going to get a new coaster for like 4 years?
Well, now we're at number 19. And I feel like everybody involved in decision making is going to be like, so when can we get number 20? Can we get number 20 in 2026? Can we?
Oh my goodness.
They're going to be really pushing for it, I feel like.
Right.
Even if it's a kid's coaster.
Right.
So
good stuff.
So yeah, that's the Siren's Curse update. Hopefully updates start coming quicker and quicker as construction progresses. I mean, during the off season, it's going to be like, oh, they put up another support. But
right. I'm curious on when that opening date is. I wonder if they're shooting for Memorial Day, but then, possibly going to get it in beforehand. Like, I was just trying to think in my head of like,
I think once it starts, it'll go up very, very quick. I think if we have a mild winter like we did last year, Memorial Day seems very, very feasible. And, it'll almost look like, well, maybe they'll get it open for opening day, Just looking at the footprint, I'm like, everything's kind of really close together and the footers are really close together. So once they start like putting it together and things like that, I think it'll go pretty quickly because they don't need like a 500-foot crane and they don't need to have like crazy winds or really, really calm winds to like put stuff in there and stuff. So it's not like building a 420-foot spike or anything.
Right. Yeah. So
anywho.
So we're going to switch gears here, and we were invited, as we said last week, we were invited to Creators Day from Tony and the park and everything. Definitely thank you for that. But Creators Day was all about HalloWeekends and showing off all of the new food options that they're that they're having, or at least some of the food options, not all of them. And then also, we were able to get pictures with, Mr. Midnight was there. And I think the Voodoo Man, is that what
I don't know what his official name is, but the guy that just walks around from he used to be in Blood on the Bayou years ago and just sounds like Doodle Bob from SpongeBob. He's so good at it, but he's dressed in like voodoo.
Yeah.
He looks like a skeleton with like voodoo thingies, and he's got like a cane, and he's so funny.
And then there was a clown,
the
roaming clowns and things like that. But so we got to check that out and everything. And just to, we haven't really talked about HalloWeekends, and we'll get to the spooky stuff here later on in the show. But I do actually want to highlight some of the kids stuff. So during the day before the actual event kicked off for us to like try food and things like that, meet and greets, we were invited to do the whole entire day. So I was able to check out a bunch of the kid areas. So you were able to decorate a bunch of pumpkins and things like that, which is really cool. And this is all for like kids that are 12 years or younger to participate. I do want to just highlight that. There's also some really cool small like spooky games on the Midway and stuff, and you can win like really cool like Halloween like pumpkin merch and stuff like that. Especially geared towards the kids. My favorite thing that I got to check out was the trick or treat. Oh boy, was that really cool. So they have 10 stations, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, can I get a map? And the lady that was working the booth, she goes, yeah. I'm like, I'm promise I'm not gonna participate. I just wanted to take a picture of it and everything. So anyway, this is in order of the map, but they have a throwback to all the previous haunted houses that the park has had in the past. So
each trick or treat station is themed to one of these old houses or scare zones.
Yes. So the first one is Zombie High School. I thought it was really great because they made it almost look like, if anyone got to go to Zombie High School, it almost made it look like the front facade when you would go in there. And I thought it was really
little
cool.
Fake bus.
Yeah, the little Cleaver Jr. It has a little fake bus in the front because if anyone remembers, they used to have like a little bus in front of Zombie High School to advertise the haunted house and stuff, and they had that, which was really cool.
And they wrote Zombie Junior High all over the place instead of Zombie High.
Right. Yeah. So there was that one. There was also,
this is not in order, by the way.
Yeah, these are these are definitely not in order, unfortunately.
That was the last one, actually.
Yeah. So you know what? I'll go in order. How's this? I found the station order. So anyway, they have was it Fear Fair? Yes. Yeah. That one was the one that was over by Raptor. It was kind of like medieval and
that one was so good.
I thought that was cool. But yeah, it was over by Raptor in the Picnic Grove. No longer there anymore, obviously. And then anyone that remembers this, I remember this when I was a little kid going to Cedar Point and stuff, but Toxic Tunnel of Terror.
Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, right. That was really cool. That was like, it was like themed for almost like a toxic, it almost looked like a toxic spill kind of happened in like a warehouse or something. That's what I kind of like was getting towards.
I never got through that one.
That one was really cool. That was where Disaster Transport was. They would move part of the house and they would be in part of the queue kind of thing. So how they did it. Then they also had number 3 was a Carnival.
Where wasn't that in the park?
I know, right? Yeah, that was
like a Twister Midway, Camp Snoopy. I think there was another Midway it was on too.
I think it actually was on Gemini Midway too.
Yeah.
At one time.
I have them in order too. I'm following along.
Yeah, so that one was really cool. I liked Carnival. I really think that was a hidden gem that they could always bring back and have it be pretty crazy. But anyway, the next one is Werewolf Canyon. This one was where Thunder Canyon, where Cornstalkers currently is. I really liked this one. I was walking out of the park really late on Saturday night because the traffic was busy on Saturday, and I heard a howl, and I'm like, what the crap is that? So I went over to investigate, and I'm like, oh, like it was
just this trick or treat station.
Yeah. And by the way, make sure that when your kids do participate in this, that they hit the doorbells and stuff and everything, because it's really cool. Because like some of the theme from the old haunt or whatever from each individual sound effects house comes alive, which is pretty cool. I thought it was cool. So Werewolf Canyon. Next one is my personal favorite from throwbacks, Happy Jack's Toy Factory. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. If anyone remembers anything from Happy Jack's, I do remember the Jack that used to pop up. And this was also where Disaster Transport used to be in the queue kind of thing that they used to do. And then also they had, at the very, very end, they had the peeing babies.
Yeah. What a classic. I missed that one.
Yeah. So, again, all the colors are there. it's really cool just to, I guess, reminisce and see and everything, you know. Then also, let's see, that was 5, right? So
Yep.
6 is going to be Screamworks. That was on the
Frontier Trail.
Frontier Trail. Yep. So there was that over there. That was pretty fun. I mean, I wasn't really I don't know.
I don't like scare zones. I just don't care for scare zones.
It's hard because like if it's windy, the fog doesn't like stick.
And it's just so busy. Like it's so hard for the scare actors.
Right. Yeah, I do agree. It's pretty hard for them. Next one is a throwback, not too far ago. We have Hexed. And if anyone remembers the haunted house Hexed over there by Gatekeeper, I thought that was a cool little. I was like, oh wow. I'm like, interesting. Next after that is going to be my favorite scare zone was Terror Island. That was when you got to go on pretty much Millennium Force Island. I think it was actually even before.
Mostly where Blood on the Bayou is now.
Yes, kinda. They didn't even have. This is actually before they had Dinosaurs Alive, I believe.
Yes.
And it was like almost like, I don't even think it was paved. I think it was gravel. I think. Don't quote me on it. But that one was so much fun. There was a bunch of pirates and on the island, and a bunch of canyons and all kinds of different sounds and everything on the island. And then another one was Pharaoh's Secret. That was also where Disaster Transport used to be. That was like a big Pharaoh themed kind of thing. Egyptian, yeah. That one was really cool. I mean, growing up, I remember all these, and they were all fun. And then the last one was obviously the Zombie High School that I talked about. But yeah, I mean, really, really cool for the kids. Again, trick or treating, you get some candy. I think they also get like maybe possibly like throughout there, you might get like other things besides candy, like maybe some stickers or a small coloring book or whatever. So I thought that's really cool. Definitely, you know, check. There's a ton of things to do for the kids, like ton of things. It's Cedar Point and HalloWeekends isn't just all about the scary. It's all about family fun and things like that during the day. And also like even during HalloWeekends. I mean, you can buy like those Nobu necklaces and things like that if you don't want your kids to be scared, you know, and so on and so forth. But there's a ton of different other things too. There's like arts and crafts that you can make, like, I don't know, like you can make cool like masks and stuff, like fun looking masks and whatever. Like you can look like a little kitty cat or like a witch, or you can look like a pumpkin head. So
there's also Magical House on Boo Hill, the little kids quote unquote haunted house.
Yeah.
Which
and there's like
fun,
there's like fun mirrors in there.
Yeah, it's just your typical, you know, spooky walkthrough, like fun house.
Definitely geared towards kids. But Evan, do you want to talk a little bit about the food that we got to try? Because
of course I do.
you are definitely the foodie, so I will let you talk about the food.
I'm trying to remember. Did I talk about the Hellfire fries last week?
You gave like, oh my gosh, they're so good. Spoiler alert, okay. But you didn't really talk about them.
So the opening weekend of HalloWeekends, I couldn't help myself, and the Hellfire fries sounded so good, so I decided to buy them. Even though I had a pretty strong feeling we'd get to try them here at this event. But so the Hellfire fries, they're the Cedar Point famous fresh cut fries they're tossed in hot Cheeto oil, which is interesting. And then finished with hot Cheeto dust. So that sounds like it'd be like super duper 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 spicy, but they're really not.
It's not too bad. Yeah, I had them.
So they had that for us. Super, super good. They had, and I can't remember the way they actually named it, but they're barbecue wings with they call them a candy gloss. They just tasted like the wings from Backbeat last year, except they're just individual wings instead of the giant ones. But they're super good. I mean, those were phenomenal last year. They're
got that smoky taste to them and stuff.
Oh, they're
but
so
yeah,
good.
I definitely. I mean, you can't go wrong.
I didn't really a little bit more spicy. I didn't really get the whole candy gloss or whatever.
I didn't taste like candy per se. So maybe I mean I don't know. I got like one wing. So
yeah, the barbecue has a natural sweet.
Although it's possible that I burned off our taste. We could have burned off our taste buds for having all the spicy stuff, and then
that is true. Then they also gave us what they're calling buffalo toes, which is over at where are those? Frontier Inn. And I'm going to back up. Actually, the wings are at Backbeat, and the fries are at Happy Fryer. But so the buffalo toes, they're just breaded and fried cauliflower pieces with tossed in buffalo sauce. And
I didn't know that you could have cauliflower that was like spicy like that, but I was like, oh my gosh, they were really good.
Yeah, the breading was super good.
Yes,
that's what. I've had fried buffalo cauliflower before, but this was surprisingly really, 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 really good. I shouldn't say surprisingly. That everything they do is really good with food.
Right.
But yeah, the breading was what made the difference. And we talked with Tony a little bit, and he agreed. He's like, "Oh my god, the buffalo cauliflower!
It's a sleeper.
Very sleeper hit." Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last main entree item they had for us, which is at Grand Pavilion, I believe, was a butternut squash flatbread pizza. Butternut squash just isn't really my thing, so I feel like I can't really fairly say anything about this, but it was fine. It's not my thing. If you like butternut squash, I'm sure it's phenomenal.
I mean, it looked appetizing, and I had some of it, but I was just I'm not a butternut squash fan, so I mean,
so go to Grand Pavilion and tell us, if you're a butternut squash fan, if you really like it, let us know.
Yeah.
Then they had desserts for us. And so the first one was apple cider donut bundt cake, which was also finished with cinnamon sugar and whipped cream. That was really, really good. I think we both ate our entire one, even though they were kind of more bite size. I believe you could find these at Coasters, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And then they had fried cheesecake. It kind of it looks like a little mini burrito, but it's cheesecake on the inside. Those are super good. I'm not a big cheesecake fan at all, but I really like these, and I believe you could find these at Grand Pavilion. Is that what we decided these were, the cheesecakes?
I sent you the photos. I believe so.
And then the last thing, so this was confusing. The worker in the building said these were pumpkin parfait, they call them pumpkin smasher parfaits. And there are those things being sold at Coasters. But the thing that was actually given to us was a berry parfait, like a blueberry, raspberry jelly, pie filling parfait. It was good, but I'm not sure you can buy it anywhere in the park. But we were supposed to get some sort of pumpkin pie thing, and that is sold at Coasters.
I believe if it'll actually load, but it doesn't want to load, which is pretty cool.
Really great timing.
There we go. Okay. So so just running down through the list, the apple cider, those bundt cakes or whatever, those are at Coasters. And then there's also a mummy roll, which is a dark chocolate cake with cookies and cream whipped.
We were not given this
filling.
It looks like the chocolate version of a pumpkin roll.
It does. Yes. That's also at Coasters. Also you've got the Hellfire fries at
Happy Fryer.
At Happy Fryer. Also, we didn't get to try this either, is Fire Stick. It's a jalapeno and ghost pepper cheese battered and fried to a golden brown. So
that's
almost
Cedar
like
Point fried cheese. Yeah, cheese on the stick, but it's spicy.
But very
I want to try that, and I promise I will. One of these next weekend, so I could tell you all about it.
Right. Also the wings and everything, the glazed gargoyle wings is what they're calling them. Those are actually at what is it? Backbeat Q, and then also the pumpkin smashers, I believe that's what you're talking about, is also at Backbeat Q, and that is a layer of pumpkin spiced cake, ginger snap cookies, whipped cream, and cream cheese filling with also whipped cream on top. So
Wow. Yeah. So for some reason they gave us
pumpkin cream. I might have said whipped cream in the first part, but yes.
Yeah. For some reason they gave us like a wild berry parfait instead. So I'm not sure if you could get that anymore. But
there is. I that's why I'm like trying to pull this up. I swear there's one somewhere.
I haven't seen it, but
anyway,
I don't know. It was good.
Yeah.
Not to rub it in that we got to try it, but you all didn't.
There it is. I maybe found it. No, I didn't find it. Never mind. No. Nope. I thought it was the one that's at Grand Pavilion on the top floor. It's the fried cheesecake. It's the deep fried cheesecake burrito. And let me tell you, when the burrito is big and the cheesecake in there, really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Powdered with brown sugar and berry compote.
That's the berry compote is what we were given.
Wait a minute. Where we saw
we were supposed to dip the cheesecake in the compote.
Oops. Yeah. So that's not even. We're supposed to put that on our cheesecake. That was the topping. We had no idea. It was kind of dark, and I think everybody was eating it as one. At least that's what I want to believe.
And in my defense, the worker from the foods department that was standing there said, "Oh, that's the pumpkin smasher." So I grabbed one, thinking that's what it was. Well, the cheesecake was good on its own, but putting the berry stuff on it would have changed the game completely.
Right? Yeah. So, well.
Oh my.
Good thing we've got more weekends to pick from to have the whole, the smorgasbord of it and everything. But
wow. All right.
That's awkward. That's awkward.
So the food, anyways, the food's great. Go spend your money on it. None of it's super expensive. It's all like $10 to $15.
Right.
And I think I mentioned last week, the French fries, like that could feed, like that's a good snack for like 2 or 3 people. And it was like $10 with my Prestige Pass.
Yeah.
So definitely give that a shot. And then I think the surprise or highlight of Creators Day was, as we were leaving, Tony and friends gave us one of these new interactive lanterns to play around with. And I think that's really what we spent most of the night doing. It was eat food, go play with lantern.
Yeah. We were like, we're going to ride a bunch. And be like, no, we actually till like 11 o'clock or whatever. And we played with the lantern. It's fun. It's really fun. If you guys are on the fence of thinking about buying one of the lanterns that you see on either pictures or you see in the Cedar Point gift shops, buy it. It's so much fun. It's so interactive. Like, spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear this, skip ahead a bunch, because we're going to talk a lot about what the lantern does and what happens when you do with said lantern. So first of all, the ceremonies were phenomenal. Evan, you got to see them.
Yep.
I think
they were very, very good.
Definitely agree with that. The thing that was really cool with the ceremonies is they have interactivity with your actual lantern. And that's not just with ceremonies, though. It's literally any of the shows.
Any house, any scare zone, and a lot of specific things in the park, which we'll get into.
Yes. What's really cool is, during the ceremonies and stuff, she's like talking about everything, and she's like, hold up your lantern, and then your lantern starts changing colors and doing different things and flickering and everything and stuff. And everyone that has them, they're really cool. Not gonna lie, they're really nice. They run on,
and the light is really bright.
3 AAA batteries, so they're replaceable, which is not too bad. But anyway, so yeah, ceremonies, home run. I think it's really cool. It's cool to like elevate. I'm not going to spoil it all. It's cool that they elevate Mr. Midnight in the way that they do, and how they talk about all the houses, all the zones, and you could see them kind of represented on the stage and everything. I thought that was really, really done. I think it was done way better than last year's. And
no offense to last year's, but
yes,
this year's is way better.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
It's also good too, because like this opening ceremonies, they're 10 minutes long. You're not going to waste a lot of time, but they're a lot of fun. They're really a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then obviously this screamsters, they come out and start scaring the crowd, and just everybody starts getting into a spooky mood and things like that. So it definitely sets the night up for
It'll be even
for
better
success.
once it gets darker earlier.
Oh my goodness, right? And then all the lanterns will be like lit up,
Yep.
whoever has them and stuff and everything. They
Yeah,
are
so bring your
limited
lanterns back to the park over and over.
Yes. Yeah. They are limited. We did hear that, once they're out, they're going to probably be sold out for the year. So
And people are buying them.
people are buying them. They are $39.99, and I believe you can actually use your discount to possibly get a discount on it. I don't see why you wouldn't. But again, you can use it around the house.
You really can.
You can turn it on the yellow mode and it flickers like an actual lantern and stuff and everything if it's not like at the park and whatever. So anyway, so interactive stuff. First of all, in the very front of the park over by Gatekeeper area, there is the robot from Disaster Transport. His name is Dave. He comes to life. He says a bunch of things. He talks about Disaster Transport. He also plays some really old commercials and old school songs from back in the day at Cedar Point and stuff.
All you gotta do is take your lantern over there and just like kind of wave it in front of them, and it
just kind of does. Life. Yeah, it comes to life. Really, really cool. Then also there's I think our favorite over there at the front, over by pretty much the Skyride building. They have the kettle corn on display. The carnival booths and things like that. Well, we were trying to find it. We found the actuator. The actuators are purple, just to let you know. So that's what you're looking for.
They have a picture of the lanterns on them.
Yes. So you walk over there and I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm like, oh look, it's smoking. That's cool. The popcorn's being made. That's cool.
You hear
that's
like
nice.
Popping sounds.
Yeah, and the lights are flickering and stuff. I'm like, well, that's neat. Well, the wind blew the smoke over to us. And I was like, oh my God, Evan.
It smells like caramel corn.
It smells like buttered popcorn. Holy cow. Literally, the fog that's literally coming up from the thing is literally smells
so immersive
like buttered popcorn. I was like, wow. I was floored. So then after that, there's one over by the cemetery, which is over underneath Corkscrew. There's that one. The graveyard that is plays a bunch of the old sounds that you would hear. Like there was Space Spiral, there was Wicked Twister, there was Mantis, there was the guy that used to say Boots and McGeeman feud down my river and spooking on my game. That was guy,
Pedal Wheel Excursions, right?
Mm-hmm, yep. There was what else? There was a bunch. There was like
6 or 7.
Yeah, because I think we just, as long as you stay in that like little area, it'll just keep running off. What you don't have to push.
There's like a little thing on the top till 2 midway that just kind of like makes some mist and like little pumpkin heads and the singing pumpkins this year are over by Valraven. They're actuated by the lanterns.
But the singing pumpkins also don't need to have the lantern. I think. I think we actually maybe got an extra song or a bonus song or something. I don't know. I haven't confirmed that, but it does say that it does play every 3 minutes. Now, if it's the same song, then it's
whatever.
The same song. But yeah, so there's that, and then I'm trying to think what else.
Frontier Midway, the tunnel underneath Millennium. There you hear like an evil laugh.
A really, really deep evil laugh. It's the Millennium Force tunnel,
so
like
stereotypical.
Millennium. That
the
one was
outhouse kind of makes noises and like an eye appear, like a creepy monster eye appears.
Yeah, that's on the haunted. That's on the trail, where you would like pull the little outhouse door and someone would be like, "Hey, I'm in here. What are you doing?" And
now it's just a creepy monster.
Yeah. What else?
There was the bank that used to be the Roundup by Maverick.
Yes.
You hear somebody pounding on the door like, "Hey, do you want my money or what are you doing here?" Blah 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 blah.
There's also the pirate ship.
That was my favorite.
The pirate ship, which is really cool. That's over by
Cutthroat Cove.
Yes. If you go over on the side of the pirate ship, you can make the pirate ship literally like blast off on a cannons, and you can see the smoke is like comes out in circles and stuff. That was really cool. I liked that.
Cannons light up red. Yeah. Yes. It's not anything super duper immersive and crazy theming or anything, but it's cool. It's fun for the kids, and they throw enough Cedar Point Easter eggs in there that it's fun for the adults to do once or
I
twice.
hope that they continue to, because we talked to someone, I can't remember her name, but we talked to someone at the actual event, and we were talking to her, and she's like, I think she listed off like 40 or 50 different things.
So, I mean, this is counting all the houses, all the zones, all the shows, and then all the interactive things within the park. She said there's somewhere around 40 to 50 things that the lantern can do. And then that's only one mode. There's also the tag mode of the lanterns, which you flip the switch on the bottom of the lantern and your lantern will turn green, like bright green, like lime green. And if you see anybody else in the park that also has their lantern on lime green, you could kind of like sneak up on them and press a button on your lantern and it'll tag the other people, quote unquote, and turn their lantern red.
Oh my gosh. Can I just say,
it sounds stupid. It does.
I had so much fun with this. I got such a sweat because I'd be like, oh my gosh, some of the parents that were like watching their kids on rides, I would literally like walk up by them, you know, like probably within like 20 or 30 feet or so. And I'm 15. You can walk towards them or whatever, and then all of a sudden start pushing the lantern button on the top or whatever, and then all of a sudden their lantern turns red and they have no idea, or they look down and they have like this look of like, what the crap just happened?
Because a lot of people don't realize they have it in that mode. They don't read the instructions. They're just like, oh, cool, this lantern thing, whatever. It interacts with stuff in the park.
Yeah.
So they'll look down like, why did it turn red? Did it die?
Right.
So that was hilarious. And watching people like freak out, like, why did it turn red?
Right. Yeah. There was a few people on the Midway that I did, and it was a nice family and stuff and everything. So I was like, oh, hey, by the way, just let you know, this is what you need to do. And then if it does turn red or whatever, I think you just like turn your lantern back off and turn it back on, and it'll go back to green, and you can do it to yourself. And there's people like sniping me out of nowhere, like these like little kids and stuff, just running up,
you were by
boom,
the
boom, and you're just mashing the buttons. Yeah, I'm trying to get my famous ices, and some little kids like, I got you. Like, dang it, no.
I was like, because you were the one that had the lantern, and I was like employing little kids. I'm like, go tag him.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. So I'm just like, well, you know,
it's a lot of fun, and especially like, you know, if you have a decent amount of money to shell out, and you got, you know, a bunch of 10-year-old kids, and they're gonna have a blast with it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like you can play tag at home. That's a new version of playing tag literally at home.
We were saying how fun like Ghosts in the Graveyard would be with these lanterns.
Oh my goodness, yeah. What's cool is like if it's there's the interactive mode, which is it turns yellow. It's like a yellow or not. I'm sorry, like a brownish yellow, like almost like a lantern light. Like if you had
it just looks like a normal lantern. Yeah.
So if you have it in that mode, that's like your interactive mode where you can interact with things in the park and whatever, and shows and also in like the scare zones and the haunted houses, and it flickers and changes colors and freaks out, and it's not just like all at once kind of thing. It'll go back to normal, and then it'll like get to like a scary area.
Like, oh, you're walking along and everything's fine. Oh, there's a lot of spirits in this area.
Right. Yeah. It almost felt like it was like a spirit finder kind of thing. Yeah. Which is really, really cool. But it would be kind of cheesy if it was like, oh, you walk right into Mr. Midnight's house, and then it's like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's that. Then there was also if you are, and you can't push the button again when you're in the yellow one, you can make it go really spazzy if you're in the interactive mode and you get really, really close to that person, closer than when you're in the tag mode, and you can actually make it start freaking out and maybe strobing or changing different colors and so on and so forth. So definitely 10 out of 10, really, really fun. Shout out to Tony again, and also the Cedar Point team for inviting us, letting us have, you know, amazing food samples, giving us a preview of what the lantern would be and things like that. But Evan, speaking of preview, we haven't talked anything about this, and we could talk a little bit about them. Brand new haunted houses, not really brand new, but like the newer, I guess you could say, haunted houses. Like, for instance,
Each house got a little something added to it. We'll just say
right. Yeah. Evan, you want, do you remember everything? You
that.
want to,
Do I? I guess again, spoiler alert. Like Slaughterhouse, for instance, I don't even remember how the ending of that house went, to be honest with you. But now they kind of in the last room, they kind of created like almost a little stage, and there's a scare actor out there with a chainsaw, and it's very like up close and personal, I guess, with the chainsaws. They really like shine a light on this guy with the chainsaw, and I mean, the most people are terrified of those actors that have the chainsaws, so it works really well. And like Mr. Midnight's house, there's nothing like in particular, and Bloodbath too, nothing really in particular, but they got like just a lot more added to them. You know, a
lot more detail.
Less
they
dead
added
space, more detail.
Maybe more smaller areas. They might have made the areas a little smaller and added some walls where you were like, oh, this area is kind of really big. So it's
more
tiny.
Scenery pieces. I'm trying to think. Freak Show, nothing really changed per se inside, but what was once the exit is now the entrance, and what was once the entrance is now the exit. You go through the house in a reverse way. So it kind of gives it a fresh look, and of course they turned the props inside so that they're facing the correct way.
Right, that'd be weird.
But yeah, so that, you know, it does, believe it or not, change the way that you go through the house, and I actually kind of like it better now. And that I would say they're my favorite crew so far. They've been really good. And then Erie Estate, they've continued with their paranormal investigation theme that they've gone with the last couple of years, and they added more props and like video screens, and I guess a lot of neon. That's what I can say. Yeah. It's kind of lost on me what they're trying to do with that, I guess. But
it's nice to see
there's more of a story with Erie Estate now.
And it's nice to see, you know, that they're continuing to add to the haunted houses, and they're not just, you know, turning on a switch and saying, you know, here we go. It's cool to see that. And I don't know. I feel, I don't know, like, it feels like they, at least to me, it feels like they have more Screamsters this year than past years. Maybe.
It does really well staffed.
And it just seems like I don't know, like the intensity, not like intense to where it's like, oh my gosh, I need to get out of here, but intensity to where right. Yeah. It's the intensity is really, really good. Like the level of like scaring is really good. It's not just like
the scare actors care. You know, they're not just standing there going, oh, boo.
Right.
We've seen that too.
Right. Yes. And this year, like for the past, obviously we've been doing it, you know, for 2 weeks.
It seems like they're really trying to convey a story in each, even in scare zones. They're starting to try to do that. Like Tombstone Territory is now more themed to like there's a virus running rampant through the town, and there's a creepy dude that's got this, you know, I don't know, magical elixir that's supposed to fix something, but of course it's actually like, you know, poison, and all the actors are, hey, you want some? And one guy recognized me 2 nights in a row. He's like, hey, you're back for more. I'm like, yeah, the first one didn't kill me.
Yeah, we were walking on the Midway. I remember that, and you were like, oh, he's like, hey, you need some of this in your freestyle drink, and it's just stuff like that where, you know, it adds on, and you know,
look, it's not going to be Halloween Horror Nights. They do a good job with what they can do.
With the budget that they have, and I mean, they're not having any. I don't know if you've heard any of the news and stuff, but Six Flags Great Adventure and stuff still hasn't been able to open up their main attraction for their haunted houses.
We're not allowed to talk bad about Six Flags anymore.
I'm just, hey, you know what? Saw, you know, Stranger Things. It's just like, did they not do? I'm curious on that front where I'm like, did they not do what the specific movie people wanted, or if there's possibly something else that's going on?
There a delay from the movie company that was like, oh,
It's
We
possible.
have to send you like stuff for the movie. Oh crap.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is you never know what goes on behind the scenes with things like that, and also what goes on the behind the scenes with Horror Nights. Like everyone's like, oh, why didn't they get this house? Why didn't they get this house? It's like,
Right.
you guys don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Like they wanted to get that house, but they said that they couldn't get that giant 17-foot prop, in
Or the
in there in
licensing
time.
deal just didn't get done or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
So anyways, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that HalloWeekends is having it's the best year ever, and there's so many cool new things. But it's one of those years where they did a lot of nice touches to spruce it up and make it feel fresh instead of just rinse and repeat every year.
Really cool to see the stage. The celebration stage. They've got a lot of
4 shows that happen.
Yeah, and there's a lot of technical lighting and things like that. Again, your lantern works with all that fun stuff and changes colors and really cool. It matches the it matches the stage lighting and stuff. So if the stage turns blue, your lantern will turn blue, kind of thing. And if anyone's curious,
what I'm most impressed about with it actually works.
Right,
it works really.
I was going to
well.
say if anyone's curious about the technology, really in the lantern, if you've ever been to like a NBA game or like a really, really big concert or something, and they give you like a wristband that lights up and it kind of like interacts with the whole entire show or whatever, pretty much is what I've got. That's almost like what the lantern is per se, to where, that's how it works wirelessly through the show performances and so on and so forth and stuff. So I would love Tony to do a blog of like behind the scenes of like, hey, this is exactly how the lanterns work. And I'm like, holy, because I'm just like frothing at the mouth trying to figure out all the technology and this stuff. Because this is, I like.
If you've ever been to Universal or Great Wolf Lodge too, the Magic Quest or the Harry Potter wands, that's what a lot of the interactive stuff is like. You point your lantern at something, you point your wand at something, and something happens. That's through probably RFID, stuff like that. But yeah, it's super cool. Everything HalloWeekends, to me, HalloWeekends is all about the atmosphere, and they nailed it this year. And the fog, they've really had a lot of fog pumping, and they have so many scare actors, even in areas that aren't really zones. They have the wandering ones that go through all throughout the park. Frontier Trail isn't considered a official scare zone, but there's a bunch of scare actors that are sliders. The ones that run up and slide across the ground. They're all over the place on Frontier Trail. So that just that adds a lot. Having a little extra, little cherries on top, and so many actors around helps a lot. If
you don't care to be scared or go on any of this stuff, you can ride roller coasters until late night and midnight. So
on Thursdays too, go on Thursdays. There's nobody there, especially still in September.
That's the perfect time to go is on Thursday.
Don't go on Thursday of Columbus Day weekend though, because it gets busy.
Yeah, so I think they're hitting their stride, and I think this is on top to possibly being the best solid HalloWeekends year,
at least since COVID.
Yes, I would agree with you that.
Yeah. Oh, the year I worked was pretty good. I would say so myself. It's
yeah.
Yeah, I love HalloWeekends. It's my favorite time of year. Even though it means the end is coming.
Right. The inevitable is definitely coming. And that is until HalloWeekends runs Thursdays through Sundays until November 2nd. So make sure you get
We're
there.
Really getting HalloWeekends weather. We're really finally getting HalloWeekends weather this weekend.
Right. It's been
as y'all are listening to this on Saturday, I stay dry. It's supposed to be windy and rainy. Thank you to that hurricane. So
hey, you know what? It's going to make it more fall-y feel. Speaking of that, so switching gears and switching the page, we do have our calendar that will be going on sale here soon, but we are looking for more submissions to the calendar. Submit your photos is pretty much what I'm saying. I got lost.
You got there.
You have until October 1st to submit whatever photo, no selfies, no on-ride photos.
No behind the scenes areas.
Yes. Send pictures of coasters or throw rides, coasters or flat rides or whatever you want to send. Nighttime or daytime doesn't matter. And submit at cprundown@gmail.com. Again, you have until October 1st,
which is Tuesday,
to possibly make our calendar for this year, and you'll have your name in the calendar, and you get like a very, very small little discount on purchasing one. So if your calendar photo makes the calendar, so
yeah, I like the calendar. You do a good job with that. Not even trying to. Granted, I did have 3 photos in there this year myself.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just depends on what I get, and sometimes I get a lot, and sometimes I don't get as much. And
it just depends on if everybody's submitting pictures of Millennium, but then there's a couple people that have a good photo of Gemini in there. Like, of course, that Gemini photo is going to get picked before
it's going to pop out.
11 Millennium pictures.
Yeah, be unique with the photos. Yeah, be unique. So
find rides that don't get photographed often. That is my
Delta World. Hello, I can't. What is it? Linus. Whatever it's called,
Beetlebugs or whatever.
Yeah, I don't have a photo of that in there right now. I know that.
That's my insider tip to getting into the calendar. Take a very good photo of a ride that is not photographed often. Here's the calendar.
Here's behind the curtain. I've got a crap ton photos, and don't make sure you don't get the logo in it as well. Like, you take a really cool photo of like Steel Vengeance with the going down the hill, but you got the logo in it. No, it's because it's copyrighted, and I don't want to get flagged by the park or whatever. So really
take a picture of the water tower.
Right. Yeah. So try not to take pictures of logos. But anyway, so if you want to get your photo possibly, these are the photos I have a crap ton of that are submitted. Ones that I don't accept, obviously, because they're on ride, is Skyride. Sorry. The Skyride photos are not, you're not supposed to take them on the Skyride.
Giant Wheel's okay though.
Just Giant Wheel, you can submit photos for that. That is allowed. But anyway, so there's a ton of photos of Millennium Force, Valraven, Rougarou, surprisingly, Steel Vengeance, Maverick, and obviously Top Thrill 2.
And put Top Thrill 2 in the calendar.
No.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah.
Next year will be all
possibly be like in the skyline or something, but yeah, it's not going to be in there. Sorry.
Yeah, don't focus on Top Thrill 2.
but those are pretty much the only rides. Like, I don't have any of
Gemini, Magnum.
I got a few from Magnum. I should say that, but those are the main culprits.
Gatekeeper, Wild Mouse.
Yeah. There's no Wild Mouse.
So just the boardwalk in general, the Giant Wheel, Power Tower.
I try to throw out the ones that are not, I guess, that are not, I don't know. It just depends how it flows. Like we're going behind the scenes.
If you're really artsy, you could probably find a way to make Grand Pavilion the center of the photo.
As long as you don't get Cedar Point's logo in it, yes.
Right. But don't just take a picture of the building. Fit a ride in the background somehow. But if you could figure it out, there's some creative people out there.
Yeah.
So stop just submitting Millennium photos. As I look at my photos I submitted to you, Karsten, myself, and it was all Millennium, Steel Vengeance, and Valraven.
Yeah.
Listen, those rides are very artsy, and we did have a Steel Vengeance behind the scenes tour at Coaster Mania. So what do you want from us?
I try to pick like every calendar. I try to at least incorporate some rides that don't normally get like the love that they need, like Matterhorn, or I don't know, just things like that. Giant Wheel, like literally a picture of Giant Wheel, not a picture from Giant Wheel, but so. Just
Raptor's not in there very often, even though I think that's a very photogenic ride.
That is true. Yeah, I don't think it's probably been a few years since I've had a Raptor. So anybody's got a really cool Raptor photo, feel free to submit.
Wow. My photos. I'm looking at the photos I sent you. There's 5 Steel Vengeance ones, a Millennium one, a Gatekeeper fireworks photo that I think has been featured about 40 times. Maverick at sunset. Never seen that one before.
Right. The sunset photo has to be like not just like a normal. It's got to be like the balls of the wall, the best sunset like you've ever seen, kind of thing. I
did get a good one of Raptor and Gatekeeper from the parking lot. Just saying.
Nice. Well, I haven't I know that I've taken a peek and not really, because I need to download all of them on my PC and see first if they're one of size. Because sometimes I'll get, a potato phone photo where it's like, oh, that's a really cool photo, and I literally go to blow it up, and it's like I get a little
It's the size
exclamation
of an icon
point that says, unfortunately, this photo doesn't meet our photo quality, so it's not going to work. And I'm like, dang it. So
a lot of times it just boils down to 12 photos that actually work.
Right. Sometimes, yeah. So, well,
anyway,
you wanna end it, and then I will. I'll end it at the end.
So thank you for listening, as per usual. Share with all your family and friends and all that good stuff. I don't think, unless there's earth-shattering news, that there will be a show next week. So enjoy the next 2 weekends of HalloWeekends, and we will talk to you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, thanks guys for listening, and really appreciate it. And shout out to Kyle and everyone in the hurricane. Hopefully you guys are okay. And Kyle, we miss you, and we can't wait for you to come back within. Unless there's crazy news, we will definitely not do that next week. All right, guys. Well, have a good night. Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Rundown on Fun. Be sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date on all things Cedar Fair. As always, be kind to your ride operators, and we will see you on the Midway. Good night.